Hey everyone out there. Hope you all are having a good day or evening, whichever one it is for you when you see this video. I am on my way up to Toledo, Ohio to visit my sons, Skylar and Joshua. So I'm not going to be looking at the phone very much because I'm driving. So I want to be safe. But I try to start I started a Twitch channel. And at the moment it's named Rednez the Realtor, which I'm going to be changing to the Gaming Realtor, because I'm going to be using that channel to chat like what I'm doing here now, or play video games, possibly doing some dual streaming with my daughter Star or my son Skylar. I'm not sure if my other son Joshua is going to be doing it, but yeah, I'm going to be doing that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I finally got most of my setup going. I was having a very hard time on how to be able to control all the sound, from my mic to the video game, and be able to control it, like a mixer. I'm used to the old school where you had an actual mixer, with each channel and all that. Now in this digital age, I'm learning it because it's changing. I knew how to do some of the digital mixing, but now it's changed so much because of streaming that there's a lot of other ways to do it and resources. It's very, very different, but I'm doing my best to get that going, and I finally got the Twitch set up. I got Streamlabs. There's a couple. I got Streamlabs desktop to be able to get it going. There's a Streamlabs OBS, and I'm not sure if that's the one I got, but I know it is Streamlabs. I'm using an XR55 microphone. I was using that for my wife's Nikon D610 camera for doing a short film. There was a group of people that I knew a while back, and they were doing some filming, and I helped them out with our camera, so that was pretty cool. So I'm using that. That microphone, and so far it's working pretty good. I have this voice changer on it. I don't know if I'm gonna continue to use that voice changer. It's got some cool sounds and whatnot, but it reminds me a lot of. I don't know if the radio stations do it now, because it's been a long time since I've heard a radio station. But back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, radio stations used to have a lot of sound effects, with gongs going off and alarms and sounds like when somebody says something stupid or whatever. It has a lot of those kind of sounds, and I don't know if I like that, because that would mean that I'm gonna try to be like a disc jockey, what they would call the DJs back in the day, and try to keep up with when something funny is said or done and hit the right kind of noise. So I don't find myself to be that type of person. It sounds fun because I looked into it and I seen other people do it, and I'm like, oh, that would be fun, but I don't think I'm gonna like it for myself. So I re-uploaded in certain settings to get it more into what I'm about. But I'm going to be doing a link tree in order to show here in YouTube, to show the Twitch channel, and I don't think I'm going to have it anywhere else but those two. And I'm going to be calling myself the gaming realtor because I do real estate during the day. And I'm going to be doing my streaming in the evenings. So during the day, I'm doing real estate. I'm going to be pushing myself to do videos like what I'm doing right now and upload them later to YouTube while I'm doing real estate, to try to keep up with how things are in this day and age, which is one of the reasons why I am doing this video here, because I try to do a Twitch 2 days ago, and it came out awful, and I'm deleting it off the streaming, but the microphone was all out of whack and just clipping, which means it was too loud, and it was just awful. There was another stream that was on there that I didn't even know I was streaming. Somehow I had programmed hotkeys, and then I was trying to do real estate while doing that, and as I was typing, I was activating the hotkeys, which started streaming and stopped streaming and uploaded, and then I don't know what else it did, and it was just a mess. And I am pretty sure that people are looking at it and being like, this guy is stupid. And that's mainly what I want to do with the channel. I want you to see my mistakes and all that. Although this one that I'm deleting, I'm deleting it because it's so awful. You can't understand what I'm saying, and you're just going to possibly put it on mute, which defeats the purpose, because of what I'm saying. Which brings me back to what I was going to talk about real estate wise. Disclaimer: if I go on a bunny trail and I don't notice it, you'll see me go on to some tangent. Please excuse that. I have other videos on this channel that are just weird. Okay, they just I just don't know. Okay, but so I had a thought yesterday, 2 days ago, when I was trying to do that stream on Twitch, and in pertaining to real estate, that what I'm seeing more and more is streamers, whether on Twitch, YouTube, or other platforms, I guess Facebook, I don't know what other platforms, but either way, these streamers are making a living in doing these videos. And I always go back to two main ones because they are, to me, the ones that I know the most. As in, I've heard of the most. I see, their ads or whatever kind of marketing they're putting up. I see that. And those two, the first one is Markiplier, and the second one is Amaranth. Okay, two very distinct, different people. Markiplier, gaming and pranks and stuff like that. Amaranth, gaming and chatting. Of course, Amaranth is on the female side, if pardon me saying that. Attracting mainly a lot of the people interested in seeing something a little bit more sensual. But OnlyFans is the other one. She does OnlyFans too, and Markiplier also does OnlyFans. But that's also the other place where people, I'm not sure if they stream, but I know they upload photos and videos and whatnot. You got tiers that you pay into. Well, those two are the ones that I hear about the most, or I see their marketing the most. And both of them do investing. Both of them buy real estate. I remember, seeing video of Markiplier talking about that he was going to be offline for a while because he was moving into a new place. And then later on after that, I heard how Amaranth was getting married and they were moving into a new place. So of course the real estate side struck a chord with me because most of these streamers in this generation, younger millennials and Gen Zers, when they start realizing that just streaming may pay the bills for a while, but they're going to have to reinvest their monies in order to be able to continue on, just in case something happens to the stream, universe forbid, but something happens, you have to have another source of income. One of those most secure is real estate, investing into real estate. And I started thinking, these kids, here in March I'm going to be 49, so I can say that. Weird and awful for me to even... Either way, these kids now are going to want to move into a new place or move out of their parents' houses and buy a place of their own, or move out of the apartment they're with roommates and buy a place of their own. They might get into a relationship and them and their partner might want to get into a place of their own. But nowadays, the mentality of real estate agents or realtors like myself, because there is a difference. I think I have a video talking about that. We have to start looking at homes have to be marketed or have to start to be marketed differently. We can't see it as in a 2-bedroom and office, although it can be considered as an office. It can't be a 3-bedroom and a spare room. It would have to be more along the lines of, this is a 3-bedroom with a possible stream lab. I'm ripping off the title of the something. Or 3-bedroom with a possible stream studio. Questions would have to then be, what are your interests for your real estate purchase? What is it that you're looking for? You're looking for 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. You're looking to entertain friends and family. What are your interests? They can come back and say, well, not much of entertaining people, even though friends do come over from time to time, but I do podcasts and streaming, so I would like for it to have a big enough separate room or location where I can set up a studio. Which at that point, me as a realtor, now I'm looking at, I can't put this person into a house where, as in where I'm living at, it can't be like that, which is my master bedroom is a 12 by 14, and then I have a second bedroom which is a 8 by 12, and then a third bedroom which is a 10 by 10. That's too small. And I'm saying it's too small because that's how I have it set up. In than the studio that I have now. I used to have it that way, but not as I didn't have it as a studio to stream. I'm a graphic designer and artist, so I had it more as in my real estate office / art room or project room, and it was too small. So I moved into the 8 by 12, and that was too small because all you're doing there is just extending. It's the same measurements, just in a different layout, and it was still too small. So realtors and real estate agents have to start thinking about learning the needs of streamers and podcasters. You can't have the room too small because it'll be too confined for the equipment. They have lighting, they have sound equipment, they have their desks, whether office desk or just simple tables to put their equipment on. Thinking about backgrounds or backdrops. Those that don't know, backdrops and backgrounds, they would have tripod stands with poles, and then it go across, and then you would have material, the drapes behind them, that either are the color green, semi-dark or light blue, or black. I have black for myself. Those that have green screen or the blue color, that's because they project different scenes behind them, or allow others to come in and project things behind them. So they need enough room to sit comfortably, have their backdrops behind them, and all the other equipment in front of them. Some streamers need enough room because where they set up their equipment, because lighting is not as big as what it used to be. Like I'm using my wife's professional lighting system that she uses for photography. I'm using it for my videos, only because I'm more old school. So I want to see that. I want to see that type of ambiance. The streamers nowadays don't need all that because the lights have become more sophisticated. They're more LEDs, so they're more compact. Because they're more compact, they still project the type of lighting that's needed, but they put it against one wall, and they want to make sure that the decorations and shelving and things that are behind them are far enough away that they're not like right on top of them, but at the same time they're not too far, so that people that are watching their stream can see what they have back there, like YouTube plaques, or awards that they've won, or I don't know, paintings that they've done, artwork that they've created, things like that. So us as real estate agents and realtors need to start thinking about, when we have this new generation come in and say, I'm looking for a place, what are your interests, what are you looking for? And they start talking about their passion of streaming and podcasting and things like that. That's what you got to look at. That's what we have to start considering and learning about. You don't have to go out there and do it. I want to go out there and do it because I think it's something good to do. I think it's been my interest since I was a teenager. Since I was a teenager, I would make videos with big cameras on my shoulders, Panasonics and JVCs. If you're young enough and you don't know what that is, look for 1980s, 1990s camcorders, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And then when the age of cell phones came in with cameras on there, I try to do that. And things in my life happened, and I'll talk about them later, but things in my life happened that I started getting more and more embarrassed about being in the limelight, and criticism, and what people's opinions started really getting to me more and more and more, and it was bad, so I stopped. Which is why here recently, with the help of my wife, I'm getting back into it, trying to do more, getting that nerve. And at the same time, I'm also doing it because both my daughter Star and my son Skylar, they're wanting to create a life for themselves that's not bound by working for the man, quote unquote, right? And I applaud them for that, because they shouldn't have to depend on the income of somebody else's business for them to make money. They're creative enough to do it on their own, and I want to be an example for them, so they could see that even at my age, you can do this. And hopefully, it becomes profitable. I'm not in it to make millions like some of these, creators have done. Markiplier and them. I'm not in it for that. I'm in it to hopefully make a decent wage out of it. It would be nice. I have bigger plans. I have one big dream that I want to accomplish before I hit 50 years old, before my 50th year ends. So before I turn 51, which is going to be 2 years from now, or 2 years from March, before I turn 21, I want to have that dream fully set. I'm super close, but I'm almost there. So I want to prove to them that even at my age, you can do this. Even at my age, you got to stop thinking and accepting what other people say, because that's their thoughts, that's their opinions. That's not fact within my life, and that's not fact within their life. And just do what you love and record it. And there's hundreds of thousands of people that would love to see that. Which brings me back to my point here. I love real estate. Always have since I was 17 years old. And I think it's time for me to start combining it with the other things that I love to do. And on top of that, start paying attention that there are the younger generation that have a new way of making a life, but are going to need to be taken care of by people that know what they're doing and will give them good, sound advice. And for me, this is it, real estate wise. So those that are in real estate that come across this video, I've already mentioned it, and I'm going to mention it again. If you don't know what streaming is, if you don't know what podcasts are, if you don't know what this new generation, the younger millennial and Gen Z generation is into, look up on YouTube. You're on this app now. Look up on YouTube and type in what is streamers, or who are streamers, what are streamers, what are stream creators, or just who are creators, who are the creators. Anything that has to do with what we would know as video broadcasts. We're used to the old way of channels, in where entertainment was done only through the people that could pay to go to a TV station and say, I have an idea for a TV program and I wanna do it. And then the television program would have to then see a pilot, which would be a 30-minute or anywhere between 10 to 15 minute, sometimes 30 minutes, of what your content would be. And then they would get into a committee in a conference room, watch it, criticize it, actually critique it. They would critique it and then decide, this is something for my channel. No, this is not something for our channel. And then they would call you and say, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate your submission, but at this time we feel that this is not a content that fits our channel. Or they would say, this is amazing. We would love to bring you in and get started. The only thing is that you would need to review our contract and da-da-da-da. Next thing you know, you're thinking that this is going to be great and now you're going to be a millionaire, and they're taking 75 to 80% of everything that you're going to make. That is what it used to be. Now, no. Now there are companies, and there are companies that are coming under scrutiny because they're trying to take too much away from the creators. Excuse me. But now, as I am here on YouTube right now, and as time goes by, I'm going to be on Twitch more often. You don't have to pitch your idea to YouTube or to Twitch or to OnlyFans or whoever. You don't have to pitch your idea to them for them to approve it and then put you on. You just have to know what their rules and regulations are, what their terms of services are, so you don't violate those, and stay within those guidelines, and then do your thing. And then if your thing is starting to get watched by a whole lot more people, then the more viewers you have and the more interaction there is by those viewers, the more attention, for example, YouTube, the more attention it would be, the more attention you would get from YouTube, and YouTube will then start putting ads on your videos. And once you get to a certain amount of viewers and followers, then you're able to do what's called monetization. I'll explain it a little bit, but you can also look it up. To monetize a video means that at that point, you can go into the settings for monetization, and you can activate that, because then you'll read it in there. You can activate that in order to start earning. For example, this is just a random number. You can start earning 5 cents per view or 1 cent per click of a commercial that's placed on your video. Or that opens up that as soon as you are monetized, your video is monetized, then a sponsor, which means a company that wants to put a specific product on your video, but not as a commercial, but given to you, they call you and say, hey, we will sponsor your next video if you would take the time out to promote our product. And then they will pay you for that. And they will give you a residual income of that product as that product gets sold through whatever code they give you. Because for instance, let's say I love DeWalt tools. Let's say DeWalt calls me and says, hey, look, we understand you have quite a bit of followers. We want to reach out to those followers. They're in a broad range of age group that we like, and we would like to sponsor your next video if you would please promote it with this product. Sure. So they send me a jigsaw. So I'm doing this video, and then I edit it in, and I say, well, let me take a moment now just to say thank you to DeWalt. DeWalt has now sponsored this video. Shout out to them. They're an amazing company, and I love their tools. I have their tools pretty much everywhere in my house, and I use them for everything that I do. But I was missing one. I was missing one product, and the one that I was missing is the one that I've always loved since I was a little kid. Not necessarily by DeWalt, but just the type of tool it is. It's the jigsaw. When I was a skater, when I was a teenager, I used to use a jigsaw, and I would borrow jigsaws, and that's how I would cut everything. But now DeWalt has taught me that there's a proper tool for every project, and you have to use each tool for each project. So they have sent me this amazing cordless jigsaw. This jigsaw is powerful. The batteries last long, which is amazing to me to see the size of the battery, which is really not that big, but yet it just puts in a punch of power, and I can cut with ease on any kind of project that I'm doing, and I'm super amazed with it. In fact, I'm finishing some countertops, right now for our house, and I'm just cutting through this wood like butter. It's awesome. So if you want to try out these products, any of them, they have all kinds, from woodwork all the way to yard work, believe it or not. There's one, my dream, big old zero turn mower, and that's for another day. But if you want to try this jigsaw, please go to DeWalt, use my code that I'm going to put somewhere on this screen, and you'll get a discount of 10% off or 5%. Now back to the video. Then I edit back in. Of course, they send you a script of what you could possibly say, and then you just put it in your own words and you say it. And that's sponsorship. So if somebody goes to use that code and buys that product using my code, then that person all of a sudden gets the discount that I said they would be getting, and then I get income from that purchase. So forth and so on, so forth and so on. And that's how a young Gen X, and then millennials to Gen Zers, that's how they're making their money nowadays. They're working for themselves, and they're monetizing their videos. Some people, I've seen this, and this is nuts to me, you guys. This is nuts to me. I've seen people in these streams where people are just going nuts. Click, 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 just clicking, donating coins, donating gifts, subs, which I'm still trying to understand what that is. Just all of this stuff where the people are sleeping. They're just sleeping. They tell them as the time is coming, and they say, hey, if I'm not off, I hope you guys have a good night, but I'm going to, this is it. And then they just sit there, they do whatever it is that they're doing, and next thing you know, they fall asleep, and people donate money to watch them sleep. There's this other line of content that these creators will sit there with a sign that said, I will not talk until someone makes me laugh. Or I won't say anything until someone makes me talk. Or anything like that. And they're just holding this sign, or they have this sign in front of them, whatever. Or it's digitally put in front of them. And people watch it for hours. People go to the liquor stores and buy lottery tickets, and then come back home and scratch those tickets off as they're narrating what they're doing. It's crazy. If I wanted to, I could get on Twitch right now, which I don't have fully set up properly, at least on my phone, because there's a mobile and then there's a desktop. And I could be sitting here doing a Twitch or and broadcast it to YouTube as well simultaneously, I believe. Don't take my word on that. And just narrate what I'm seeing. I mean, I would have to put my phone on the dash instead of down low where I have it now. And just narrate. Right now, I'm passing next to a JB Hunt semi-truck, just cruising down the street. Well, actually the highway. I'm going north on I-75, headed towards Toledo, Ohio. I could be just doing stuff like that, talking about the things that I'm seeing and all that, and people would watch that. And it could possibly get monetized. I don't know. It just depends. Excuse me. It depends on the amount of followers and viewers with interaction. Because just because people are watching it doesn't necessarily mean that it'll make money for companies or for YouTube itself. They have to interact, or they have to follow you, and there's a process of how many times they have to view, or how many views your videos get. Once they get to a certain amount, then you get contacted. The more followers you have, the better, because that means that you can put an alert on your channels and let them know that at a certain time you're going to be doing another video, and it alerts all of your followers, and then they come and watch what you got. All of these things, us as real estate agents have to know. You don't have to do them like I am, but you have to know these. Because you have to understand whenever a young generation comes in and says, my wife and I, my fiance and I, my partner and I, us, whatever. And I'm saying whatever because you don't know if it's a roommate situation, if it's a partner situation, if it's a marriage situation. You don't know what's coming at you. But whatever's coming at you, single or multiple, hence whatever, they'll come at you and they'll say, this is what we're looking for. Let's call it a partnership, so there's multiple people. My partner and I, we do streams, and at sometimes some podcasts, and we just randomly talk. And we're looking for a house that'll give us a good space to set up our studio, to be able to do our streaming and our broadcasts. And I just recently learned, I thought it was an old term to say broadcast, but they still use it. So you would have to then know and say, okay, so what kind of equipment do you have? Do you have high level lighting? Will you set them up on tripods? Do you have multiple cameras? Do you have, what kind of desks are you using? Are you using a deep desk of 24 inches plus? Or is it just a regular thin desk? Are you setting up in the middle of the room towards one wall to have either a cloth backdrop, or to use the opposite side of the room as a backdrop? How's your setup? And then they'll sit there and be like, oh, we came to the right person. Well, this is how we have it set up. And then they'll either show you a photo or a video, and you'll be like, I got the perfect place for you. So now let's talk about the actual real estate side. We got to know, what are we looking at? Are you doing this a cash purchase? Are you financing this? Financing meaning, are you getting a loan? Just a straight loan through the bank? Are you getting FHA loan, SBA loan? Which those then, they'll probably look at you as like, those are what? And then as a real estate agent, well, they're this and this and this and this. You could explain that. because this is the process that we're looking at. So I need to know what would be the maximum amount that you're going to be looking for to pay for a house, or a minimum. If you're getting financed, then you know you need at least, depending on where you're going, you need anywhere between 20 to 25%. The 25% is usually hard money lenders that are really stiff with their money, so they want more down, or depending on the interest rates at the time, you want to put more down to get your interest rate lower, if it works like that at the bank or your lender, blah 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 blah. There's so many things that at that point you can start explaining to them, because you already got their attention, because you know what you're talking about when it comes to their passion. And when I was doing this test streaming 2 days ago, it was that. It was a wow. I really, really need to start paying attention to that, because even though the majority of the streamers are not making millions like the ones that got into it early, again, my examples, Markiplier and Amaranth, although they're not making as much as what they're making yet, and it could probably grow to that, they're making more than enough that they can afford to show an income of $75,000 a year, $150,000 a year, $250,000 a year, which means that they can afford a $250,000, $350,000, $450,000 house, because they have a steady income. And that's for those that are not real estate agents that are just watching the video. You have to have at least 2 years proof in your tax returns. Hopefully you're monetizing this and you've created a LLC, a limited liability corporation or company, in order for that monies to go into that to protect you just in case something happens. For any reason at all, it is protected. So you got to show at least 2 years of income into yourself. And those 2 years will prove, wow, you've made over this amount, therefore you can afford to pay for this type of house. Bunny trail. The reason why I say you can afford to pay for this type of house is because the lender, if you're going financing, the lender would have to see that we can put a mortgage on this house of, example, $1,500. It's a lot, but if you're looking like at a $300,000 to $350,000 house, we can put a mortgage of $1,500 a month, $1,500 a month, and their income can still afford to pay their electric, gas, water, sewage, taxes, property taxes, insurance, and their living expenses. Living expenses means your food, gas for your car, maintenance for your vehicles, maintenance for the house, clothing for yourself, and if you have children, then and taking care of your children as well. So if you have enough income that can pay for all of that and still have enough to pay, first of all, $1,500 a month in mortgage, then that lender, that bank, will say, heck yeah, there you go. 2 years prove that you can afford this, so you can get this kind of house. Now, if you're making that kind of money, $75,000, $150,000, $200,000, $250,000 a year, and you've been smart with that money, okay, and you've been saving up, there's a good chance in which I would probably do it that way. There's a good chance that you could buy the house cash. Second, or bunny trail on the bunny trail, know this. This is where my professional side comes in, but also my father side comes in, and father advice, which would be this. If you think that you're going to buy your house cash, please don't look at your bank account like the money that I'm making. Oh my God, I'm going to get the most awesome house with the most awesome pool, with the most awesome backyard, with the most awesome cars. No. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. That's an old term. I hope it's still the same nowadays. Don't try to keep up with those other streamers and creators that are earning millions by trying to buy the most expensive stuff. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Be what's called frugal. Don't be cheap, but be frugal. Which means if you're going to buy a house, buy a nice house. You can get a nice, decent house for $225,000, $250,000. Okay? And if you pay it cash, all you're going to be paying after that is insurance and taxes. You don't need to buy a $500,000, $750,000, $1 million house. You don't need that. You can find an extremely nice house that looks better than some of those big mansions that only you're going to be in, or one other person is going to be in, and then whoever else comes in there is going to be there to trash it. Buy something that gives you what you need, keeps you comfortable, gives you the space that you need for your studio, but at the same time, you're not going to be house broke, which means that you're not paying so much for the house that you don't have enough money for anything else. Don't be car broke, again, which means your car is so expensive that you don't have enough money to get anything else. Even if you're making that much money a year, that money goes quick. With interest rates rising, with the way food prices and everything else, the commodities that we have, all of that rising, don't look into just trying to look like you're rich. Don't do that. Look into being comfortable. So then the money that you make, the fortune that you're creating, is for your future. For the just in case something happens, you're protected. Because with all the video games and everything else that we've played, with all the movies that we watch and we go in there and we're critics on, and we do the reviews, when it comes to post-apocalyptic worlds, what's going to happen to all that money? What's going to happen to that big giant house? Let's say the post-apocalyptic world comes in with zombies. What are you going to do with a big house that has windows everywhere and there's zombies everywhere? Them zombies are going to come through that windows. I mean, don't be, like gloom and doom and conspiracy theorists kind of, atomic, nuclear bunker type of living. Don't do that. But it can easily all go away. And if you're spending your hard-earned money, now, trail on a trail, hard-earned money doesn't mean that you go out there and shed blood, sweat, and tears. That's not what that means. It's still hard-earned money if you're sitting there and you're playing a video game for 2-3 hours because you're trying to entertain other people that can't play video games, but they love seeing you watch. That's still hard-earned money. And if you're earning that hard-earned money only to throw it away on a big, ginormous house and property, what for? I had a dream way back in the day that I designed the house that I was going to build. Big, huge 3-story house. I mean, this thing was massive with like 50 acres of land. And now, give me 5 acres of land with a small little shack. That's all been approved by the missus too, because that's what she wants as well. A couple of, little farm animals, little fainting goats or miniature goats or whatever. We're fine. We don't need all that big stuff. So, be careful what you're doing with your money. But invest into real estate, though. in a smart way. Don't try to buy the biggest and best. Don't try to do that. Because if you're buying the biggest and best, it could be easy for your income to be lost, and then you can't keep up with that. Because even if you paid it in cash, you're going to be saying, well, I don't have a mortgage. So yeah, but then you're going to still have to be worrying about $15,000, $16,000 in taxes a year that you're going to have to somehow figure out how to pay. Plus the insurance. You got to watch all that. Your house might be paid off, but no, you still have to think about the taxes and the insurance. So I'm going to go back to the real estate agents and realtors for a moment, and then this will be the end of today's video. I want to reiterate, learn the atmosphere, learn the day and age that we're in. Don't think that, this is just young kids. They don't know. I'm going to be teaching them. No, you're not. No, you're not. We're in the age that we don't have to go to the library to look up books and sit there and try to read the new laws and the new statutes and the new terms and new regulations and new everything. We're not in that day and age now. We're in the day and age now that what we're doing is that we pull up our phone, as I am on right now, and I put up the microphone, or I just ask for the computer. I'm not going to say the name because it's going to activate. I'm on an iPhone. So, and I'm going to call out the computer to then look up the newest, latest approved real estate laws. And it will come up and dictate those for me. Or I will ask it to bring up videos of such things, and it'll bring up videos of it, and I will play the video and drive the 2 hours I'm driving from Dayton, Ohio to Toledo, Ohio, and listen to all the new things that are coming into real estate, all of the things that I have to be aware of when it comes to interest rates that are going up. Some say it might go up to 14.3% or 14.6%. Things like that. People are talking about recession. People are talking about depression. People are talking about a new real estate bubble. I mean, I don't need to go to some conference to learn it. I just get online and do it. And that's what I'm saying. Don't think that just because the people you're going to be dealing with are young, or 10, 15, 20 years younger than you, that they don't know what they're talking about. Because the majority of them, not all of them, but the majority of them not only researched you online to see what kind of reviews you have, what kind of experience you have, how long you've been doing this and all that other stuff, they've also reviewed what they're getting into and why they're doing the real estate that they're doing. So, learn their world. Learn what they know. Learn what they're getting into. Some are still in wanting to do the corporate world, and of course we already have knowledge in that, but we have to get updated into the new post-COVID corporate world. Some want to still be in the blue-collar workforce, but there's new ways of doing blue-collar in this post-COVID world. Learn that. And because of COVID, and some years before that, but mainly because of COVID, we have a new form of entrepreneurship out there that us as real estate agents and realtors have to learn. We don't have to do it, but we have to learn what that's about, so we understand the needs of this new generation, so we can guide them to get into something that they will meet their necessities and their wants. Don't think that you're better just because you've been in this for 40 years. I know real estate agents that they've been in it for 40 years and they're sitting there, call me or text me and say, hey, I just talked to some client and they're talking about this, and this. Oh, what? And then I'm like, well, this is what they mean. Because I pay attention. Not only do I pay attention to the age group that my children are in, but just a little bit older than them and younger. Because the ones that are younger into their teens are a lot more intelligent nowadays than what we used to be at that age. Way more intelligent. Way more intelligent. Okay? Way more intelligent. And because they're a lot more intelligent, when they get into the age 18 years and above, and they're able to fully go into adult mode with adult money, they're prepared. And they're going to want to deal with people that are also prepared. So be those people. Be those people. And I'm going to be doing more videos now that I'm really, more passionate about this side of things. I'm going to be doing more videos and talk about more of what this is about. So if you want to come back to my channel and learn more, ask questions underneath this video in the comment section. Subscribe, like, follow, everything that you got to do wherever this is at, and just try to stay up with the game or ahead of the game, whichever one suits best, because that's what you're going to need to do to be more successful. Because there's so many ways we need to make sure that we can accommodate the new things that are coming into this generation. So it's going to be it for me. I greatly appreciate you sticking around for almost an hour. But again, I might have went in different directions. I hope you were able to follow me. My name is Zender. I'm a realtor in Dayton, Ohio. If you're ever interested in investing in any real estate, go ahead and leave me a comment in how I can contact you, and we can get together and do some investments. If you're in the new generation, as a streamer, creator, and you're looking for real estate anywhere in the state of Ohio, doesn't have to be in Dayton, but anywhere in Ohio, let me know, and I can help you out to get what you need and what you want. So again, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate your time and listening to me. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, evening. There's an old movie, If I Don't See You Later. I'm dating myself here. Have a good morning, day, and evening. I don't know. But I'll see you next time in the same bat channel, same bat time, same bat channel. I should have that sound and put that in here. Either way. Alright guys, thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow, all that good stuff, and ask questions, okay? I'll answer every single one of them. I promise. Okay, bye-bye.